Hello, 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 and welcome to my channel, you beautiful viewer. Don't tell the other viewers this, but you're my favorite. Yeah. So I'm pretty excited for two reasons today. First, we are going to be looking at one of my favorite games ever, and that is Civilization V. It was my first foray into the Civilization franchise. This is part of the Humble Bundle going on right now, which leads to my second reason for being so excited, and that is that this video is going to be published like 2 days after I record it, and I'm pretty excited about that. I kind of like having a short time between recording and you getting to see it, you beautiful viewer. So, yeah, check it out. And then, you know, if you see my recording skill and equipment drop in my next video, that's because I'm a time traveler. Anyway, let's jump to it. This is Civilization. There we do. Civilization. Ha, got it. I did it. I know how to work my equipment right after talking about how great I was. So we're going to do just a quick play, which is going to be random settings. Civ is...
All hail his most respected and magnanimous emperor, Pedro II of Brazil. It was with great insight and unshakable dignity that you ruled the Brazilian Empire for over 50 years, ushering in a time of lasting peace and prosperity. Your reputation as a stern but fair leader was never blemished by controversy, as your unwavering dedication to the people of Brazil provided hope and established the kingdom's position in South America. Your scholarly pursuits and staunch defense of freedom of speech led to the creation of several institutions of higher learning, strengthening Brazil's sense of national identity. Revered Emperor Pedro, your people long for a return to the peaceful days when you walked among them, hearing their stories and reassuring them of a bright future. Will you once again lead your kingdom to prosperity? Can you build a civilization that stands the test of time?
Sure can. So here we're going to look at a couple things. If you're new to the Civ franchise, this is a steep learning curve of a game, and it took me several games to even figure out what was going on. I have spent 250 hours in this game. It's my longest played game on Steam, and for those of you who are Civ buffs, you realize that that makes me a noob. So anyway, the first thing we want to do is we want to make sure we have luxury resources in our opening city, which, good news, we do, that the computer makes sure of that.
Consider sending your warrior out to explore new territory.
So, we're going to go search for our neighbors, search for the next possible little area that we can pick up.
The city screen provides a detailed view of your city's growth and production.
So you're saying you're not an experienced Civ player because you've got the hints turned back on. Well, I actually uninstalled Civ for a little bit. I was talking about maybe...
I have some information.
She has information for me. I was talking about maybe getting Civ 6 because my wife got it when she bought her new computer and I kind of wanted to play with her. Anyway, 1 second. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to build a monument. Monument is going to build culture. I moused over them while Liam Neeson was talking. But you've got your... Hold on 1 sec.
Excuse me.
We will go ahead and do pottery. You are not excused, science advisor.
Excuse me.
And that's going to spread this little green Brazilian culture area out. And the culture sort of determines what I control and where I can build improvements on the land. The Civ franchise, what got me into it in the first place... is I've always kind of
hold secrets that may advance our civilization.
Oh yeah, I don't think this is a new mechanic Civ 5. Problem is, this is my first Civ game, so it's hard to say how it compares to the other games, right? But ruins give you bonuses. They're good early game finds, pretty much. And then hopefully we'll meet some barbarians that we can kill, because 15 minutes is not enough time to overthrow another civilization, especially because I am a cultural civilization, not warlike. Let me explain. There are 4 win conditions in this game. 4? Let's see. Domination, science, culture, diplomacy. Yes, I did it. And the win types are... domination is kind of what you think. You raise armies. I believe you have to conquer every other Civ's capital. Oh, you can move the capital, so that can't be right.
Here is something that may be helpful.
Maybe you have to conquer every other civ? Just all of their stuff? Maybe. Anyway, dominations, you have to militarily destroy the other players. All of them.
The enemy unit you are near
Cultural
is
victory,
fortified.
it changed in one of the expansions. Oh, and let me just point that out. In the Humble Bundle, it comes with all the expansions. If you are watching this on backlog, let's see how we do against these Barbies.
You have
Okay,
succeeded.
that went pretty well. Barbarians. But I believe the new culture victory is you have this resource, tourism, and tourism is built up by having a really impressive culture, and it's kind of like having blue jeans or anime. And the other cultures all want to be like you. A culture like that can learn to be like someone like you. Ba-da-ba-ba-da-bow.
Shall the clay say to him that fashioneth it,
Yeah, that's right.
makest them?
Now I'm wondering if I violated copyright. I guess we'll find out in this, when I get notified. Let's see. Okay, drill. And we're going to keep attacking. We're going to keep trying to kill these barbarians. And so, yeah, they all want to become your culture. And I forget what happens. Like, you cause revolution or something. I've never won with a culture victory because, of course, I just go straight to war. Oh, sorry. We need to make sure... Oh, that was silly of me. I need calendar to harvest this sugar. And so, oh, we're good, because I needed pottery anyway. That's good news. And then the thing you can do that you'll want to do when you get to know the game better is you can actually go into the science menu, and you can open the tech tree, thank you, and you can schedule what you want to do. So, like, if I was going for a science victory, this is a terrible, terrible strategy, but for example, I can click here on future tech, and now it's just picked the shortest route to future tech, which as you can see is lengthy. So this is queued up 78th. And then for the science victory, we actually need to build a starship. So we've got, I don't remember. My wife always beats me when we play together, and she wins on science. So I'd have to get her in here as a consultant to tell me how to win on science. Because again, I do this through military. And that actually kind of builds into, Civ is 2 games at the same time. There's the single-player experience, which is very much... This is the game where I actually learned the term when I was trying to describe this game. Got him. One guy left. His name is... it's going to be Brazilian. Paulo. Yeah? Paulo? I think that's a Brazilian name. All right. That's him. That's him. He's awesome. Oh, cool. Now we've met another civilization's leader. I'm William of Orange of the Netherlands.
Ben Willem van Oranje, stadhouder over de Nederlanden. Behoeft gij iets? Mij staat nog veel te doen.
And he's speaking what I hope I'm correctly calling Dutch, because I believe that is the language of the Netherlands. I am revealing my my ignorance here. Anyway, so when you first meet a civ, there's not a lot you need to do because you need to like research how to have these different agreements. We don't even have writing yet, so it's kind of hard to sign treaties. But let's see. No, so we can pay tribute, and it looks like that's about it right now. I thought we could trade embassies, but we need writing. Oh, we need to know how to write, have an embassy. So we'll come back to William of the Netherlands. Now that we've made contact, get out of here. You can just click on him, you can talk to him right here, and he'll speak to you in Dutch. It's awesome. So, okay, we built our monument. That's going to start spreading our culture. We've got warriors a little close to our town, which makes me a little anxious, but the town would be able to fend them off. Is that true? Hold on. Let's look at their strength. I thought I could just see their strength by clicking on them, but apparently I don't know how to play this game. We'll click on my own warrior. His strength is 8, my town's strength is 11. We'll be okay. We'll be okay. It is extremely hard to take a town without siege equipment. Possible, but difficult. Okay, so we got our monument. That's going to start spreading our culture. Next thing we want to build is a worker to start improving the land around us. And then we're going to go to this warrior. We're going to bring him home because he is badly wounded. You can see his life bar there is in the low red. And so hopefully William doesn't want to start a tussle with us. So like I was saying earlier, there are 2 games of Civilization that you're buying, at least when you buy Civ 5, and I believe it applies to the whole series.
I have some information that...
Okay, here's the thing. I don't know why you wouldn't ever not start with Honor. Honor gives you a bonus to killing barbarians. Killing barbarians gives you experience, gives you better troops in the future. But again, this might be why I always lose to my wife, who takes the peaceful scientific route. Okay. The single player game and the multiplayer game. In the single player game, you have this strong. Sorry, getting rid of these. This strong emergent narrative that happens, and even though the AI's behavior is just nonsense in a lot of cases, like stuff they do just makes no sense. But you sort of build up this. You build relationships. You build relationships with them. I mean, I guess these are being done out of order, so you have not seen my Bientôt l'été video yet. But then we're going to really explore building relationships with a random number generator. Believe me. Okay, he's in our territory. We're going to tell him to fortify until healed. The reason we brought him home is they heal at twice the speed when they're in friendly territory. The other game that Civilization is the multiplayer game. And Civilization multiplayer is incredible for a couple reasons. One, it forces you to actually have friends and behave like you have friends. I thought I had next turn there. And the other is it builds these complex decisions that you have to make, and you get into the best negotiations. And so one downside of this game is it doesn't have a great deal of variety in its map generation. I don't know why it was that hard for me to think of that. And so generally when you just do the continent style map, which is the default, that's the map we're on now, it's going to give you two big ball-shaped
So
continents.
teach us to number our days so that we may apply our hearts unto wisdom.
Liam Neeson, baby. I will train Anakin. Okay, so we've got an honor. Now we need to kind of decide who we are. We are a culture civ, so we want to do things that's going to enhance our ability to gain culture. So we are, in fact, going to pick tradition. We're not going to win. I'm not going to win the game in 15 minutes. This game is a commitment game, okay? In single player, you can expect a match to take several sittings. If you do an entire match in one sitting, then I hope you had a nice sick day off of work. Because you wouldn't use a Saturday on this. But then the multiplayer games take 4 to 5 hours. I mean, it's like a lengthy board game. Okay. We want to find out where William the Orange came from. Oh, he probably took those ruins already. Oh. I'm going to show you... So, this is Genghis Khan. I was going to go pick a fight with William the Orange, but Genghis Khan's probably going to pick a fight with me. He is one of my favorite leaders in the game. He gets bonuses for capturing city-states, or these small independent NPC civs that you can basically shackle to your will via one means or another. Yeah, so with the multiplayer, always try to play with an odd number of players, because then you aren't going to have these bipolar world wars. You'll have much more delicate situations to negotiate. And oh man, like, just I've had some great times with friends playing this game. I'm worried we're all going to move to Civ 6 sooner or later. Again, because my wife has a free copy. I don't have it, haven't been really willing to commit yet, because here's the other thing you should know about Civ. That's, I can't say this about Civ 6 because I haven't tried it, but they tend to release broken games. And so Civ 5, when it released, was a barely playable mess. I was actually playing a co-op game with my friend, and he suddenly started rejecting my trade deals. And I was like, hey, why are you rejecting my trade deals? We're allies. And then he's like, you just declared war on me. I was like, no, I didn't. Turns out the game not only had disconnected us, it hadn't told us that we had disconnected. And so, yeah, it was problematic. It introduced some problematic things, mostly with connectivity and stuff like that, but also just some in-game glitches. Oh, let me show you this too. This is how I used to play on my old computer, hex mode, because it's a little less strenuous, a lot less strenuous. And in multiplayer, it gets to be a little bit of a carpal tunnel fest because you take your turns simultaneously, and so whoever moves their troops first is going to essentially win initiative. So you win initiative by taking initiative. That one. And so, yeah, I've gotten into Oh, if you play multiplayer, I don't know if they've fixed this, but I'll warn you that we've had historical problems getting Pit Boss mode to work. Pit Boss is supposed to save the state and let you log in at different times to take your turns at different times, which in theory would be nice, but in practice that would make the game take years and years. So, you know, like Risk. And then we're going to cross here, kill these Barbies. No, I want to declare war for you. I'm going to declare war for you, dear viewer. If I can. Just because it's fun to watch the leaders get angry. Oh, yes, there's William the Orange. Okay.
We have no combat units defending our territory.
That's right. This is going to be a problem. Yeah, my military advisor is screaming at me that we're not ready for war, so guess what we're going to do? Okay, we're going to go up here, start developing sugar, and then there is so much more to this game, right? You can colonize, you go expand, you fill the world, you can play on a map that looks like Earth. You can get a mod that lets you actually start in the location your civilization is from, which shocks me that it's not a default option. Anyway, let's attack William the Orange here. Does this mean war? Okay, this is my favorite thing. This is a terrible decision I'm making. I'm a culture civ with one military unit that is attacking another guy when I don't even know where he lives and he knows where I live. There's nothing good about this decision I'm making, but when you hear Angry William the Orange, I think you'll understand.
Gij noemt u zelf een verheven vorst, maar ik zie niet anders dan een fijn uitgedoste barbaar.
I'm assuming barbar means barbarian.
Verschoon mij.
Yeah, Angry William the Orange. Okay, so now we go attack his warriors, and I have sealed Brazil's fate in so doing. So look, if you want a great video game that fulfills your need for a cool board game to play with friends across the world, I can't speak highly enough of Civ. You gotta commit some time to it. It's not even really a game that lets you go use the bathroom. So, you know, you have to be ready to play for a couple hours, but it's fun. It gets you into these tense and unique discussions and negotiations with your friends. It lets you get completely pummeled by my wife with a science victory if you ever do that, especially when she has pacifist neighbors. I'm talking specifically to one of my friends. He knows who he is. Okay, hey, thanks so much for joining this video. If this interested you, I strongly encourage you to go pick up the Humble Bundle. This game is easily worth $7. That comes to something like, it's easy math, but I can't think of it right now. Pennies an hour. Not pennies. Anyway, okay, thanks so much for joining me. You are, in fact, my favorite viewer. Don't tell the others. And we'll see you in the next video. Ciao.